Hello, everybody. Welcome into the first video in my Summer Fun series, in which I will be teaching you fast and easy watercolor tutorials for beginners. And this first video, we will be painting this super fun and whimsical, yummy, berrylicious popsicle. And I think you're going to have lots of fun with it. And I think you'll find it simple enough to do even with your kids or your grandkids or any little people that you might have in your care. If you like this video, I would invite you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so that you can be notified when I post the next Summer Fun watercolor tutorial for beginners. I have lots of other videos planned for this series, but if you've got a summer memory or just something that reminds you of fun summer days, let me know, and who knows, we could paint it together. Okay, the supplies we're going to need for today, very minimal. You'll need your watercolors, whatever you've got. This happens to be Winsor & Newton. I probably got it on Amazon, to be honest. I'm not even sure what these colors are because I'm not that kind of girl. I've got blue and I've got red. I know there's blue here. You can use that shade too, whatever you've got. And I've got a 6x6 sheet of watercolor paper. I've got a round brush, whatever size you would like to use. That one is a 12. And then I've just got a pencil, number 2 pencil, whatever you've got that we're going to use for our sketch in the beginning. If you feel like sketching, you can also just start by painting. This is not difficult. And then I've got my trusty water cup, and we are ready to go. Let's get to painting. Okay, so to start off with, we are just going to draw the shape of our popsicle in with pencil. Use whatever you have. You guys, I think this pencil was probably from one of my daughter's art kits that she got, you know, where you get like 150 different pencils and charcoal and markers, probably like when she was 10 and she's 20 now. Anyway, use what you've got. And if you have one of those gummy erasers, you could run it over the pencil lines just to make them a little bit lighter if you'd like. But yeah, basically just an arch window is what I'll call it. And then the popsicle stick itself is kind of an upside down little arched window. On the inside, I am drawing 2 popsicle stick shapes that are going to represent, you know, how they have kind of little indentations in the popsicle. And now I'm just going to fill the popsicle shape in with clean water. And that is, I'm going to leave the popsicle stick alone because we don't want any of the colors from the popsicle to bleed down into the stick. So we're just going to put that water in there. We're going to lay it in there nicely. And then we're going to start laying our first color in there, our lighter color. And just want to make sure that your paper is glistening. We don't want any pools of water. We don't want any puddles of water, any moving water. So just make sure that's nice and wet, but not too wet. So we are starting with red, and I just took red right from the pan. I didn't mix it with anything. It's just a nice red color. You use what you've got again. And you can put it on as thick or dark as you'd like. You don't have to be too precious with it. But, you know, we did learn our whole lives to color in the lines, right? Inside the lines. So I guess that's what I still try to do. You don't need perfection, but it's nice to still keep the shape of the popsicle. So you're just going to bring that red on down, and you guys can use whatever colors you want. You can use, you want to do like a, what are those called? Dreamsicles, where it's all orange and yummy. I am doing a berrylicious popsicle. That's what I'm calling it. And so I'm going to take some purple to go along with my red. I think it's strawberry and blueberry. That's what I'm going with. And the purple, I took that same red that we used and I mixed it with blue. Again, use whatever colors you have, whatever shades of red or blue you might have to get the desired shade of purple that you'd like. And you don't have to be precious with this either. We want the 2 colors to blend together, that pink and that purple, red and purple. We want them to blend together, and we want the water to just do its thing. Just let them move kind of organically. And I just think it's so fun. You can do a straight line if you'd like, you know. I'm guessing they're made in a factory. There probably is a straight line, but I just like to have it a little more of an organic feel to it. And I love when those colors mix together, and then when they dry, they're so different. So it's just fun. And you can see it dries so much lighter than when you put the initial color on, and that's great. We are now taking that same red that we used, and we're going to do those upper kind of left portion of those popsicle stick shapes. And then I'm just putting some clean water on my clean brush, and I'm just going to pull that red right on down to the bottom of the popsicle stick shape. And I'm going to fill that in. And it's just going to be varying shades of that red depending on how much water you use. I'm going to take the tip of my brush, and just so you can still see the edge, that right edge of the shape in there. Do the same on the other side. Just put some clean water on your clean brush and pull that color down. And I'll just point out, I'm sure you've noticed that those two shapes I drew inside of the popsicle are not symmetrical. That one on the right is skinnier and she's shorter than the one on the left, and that is a-okay. Now, there is a time in my life where I would not have been okay with that, and I probably would have jumped ship and just started over, because that's how my brain worked back then. And now I'm like, girl, let go of the perfection. Perfection is not fun for me. But as you can see, these shapes on the inside are really starting to show some dimension, and they're showing those indentations that are in the popsicles. And it's really starting to look like a popsicle. Again, realism is not my goal here, but I think it looks nicer than if I would have just left it without those shapes in the middle, because then it just kind of looks like a flat arch window with pink and purple paint in it. So you can play with this as much as you'd like and make those as dark as you'd like. Oops, sorry about the popsicle stick. I got interrupted and had to hit pause, and then I forgot to hit record. But I just took a watered down burnt umber for the base color of the popsicle stick, and then I got a little more saturated burnt umber for the shadows, the shading, and just to add some variation into the popsicle stick. You know, you can kind of see the grain of those popsicle sticks, if you will. So it's nice to have a little variation of colors. All right, that is all dry, and now I'm just taking a scrap piece of paper of watercolor paper, and I'm going to splatter. I'm starting with the purple that we used and just going to splatter that all over. And I mean all over. You can see it's getting on my desk. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but guess what? It will wipe right up. Even if you let it sit, it'll wipe up later with just a little water, but don't let it sit. Just get it cleaned up. But now I'm going to add the red. So we're just going to have red and purple splatters in the background. And it just adds some whimsy and some fun. Removing that card, I would recommend that you wait till everything is dry. I did not. But in the past, I have done that where I remove it and the droplets are still wet, and I think I'm being careful, but then I accidentally hit a few of the droplets and it just smeared them across the page, and it just doesn't look as nice. So I ended up not enjoying how the splatters were not closer to the popsicles. So I am adding those in, and I know it looks like I'm being really careful, but it's just because I'm adding quite a bit of water and color onto my brush and gently letting it go to the paper, because I don't want it to look like a brush stroke at all. I want the droplet to just drop nicely onto the paper so it looks like the rest of the splatter. So yeah, I'm obviously not doing anything uniform. Do not forget to sign your artwork. That's important. And if you're working with littles, have them sign it too. Have them sign their own art. What a sweet keepsake that will be with their little handwriting, whatever their age they're in. I decided to take my white gel pen, and this is definitely optional, but I just wanted to add some highlights here and there. You know, if you're like me, when you were little and eating popsicles, you were outside doing it. And when the sun hits that icy cold popsicle that's melting, it glistens here and there. So I just took my white gel pen that I love, and this is the jelly roll. I have different ones, and I just probably got this on Amazon or Walmart or something. So yeah, so just add those highlights and enjoy.